Okay, for some reason it's not sharing. Sorry, it takes a while to load an entire huge PowerPoint, so please bear with me as it loads.
Okay. Okay, well, while we're waiting for the screen, I'm going to officially call the meeting to order, the 2021 annual meeting of the Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania. So welcome to our 2021 annual meeting. I am Debbie Hassan, Chair of the Board of Directors. I appreciate you all joining us for our second virtual annual meeting. The past 15 months have been challenging to say the least, as well as uncertain and frustrating for the entire world. But there have also been many bright spots in the past year. Stories of girls' resiliency, compassion, and a commitment to making the world a better place, even in a pandemic and while living in virtually a virtual world. I'm glad you're all here with me today as we share the state of our council from our last fiscal year, as well as update you on current news. As a technical reminder, as you see up on the screen in front of you, there's a big blue arrow to the bottom left side of the screen. And that is where you can do Q&A and must use that for Q&A as we do the voting and points of order. So please do not use the chat box. You need to use that Q&A. And if you have problems, just reach out and one of the staff will help. As we proceed through the meeting, I also want to offer some logistical reminders, excuse me, to our delegate council members here on Zoom, and for those of our attendees who are participating through Facebook Live. Everyone is muted, as you heard at the beginning. Each presenter will turn on and off their video and audio, but the rest of the participants will stay muted. If delegate council members have a question or comment, again, use that Q&A button and do not use the chat log. Please know only a few people can see and respond to the questions or comments in the Q&A log. That includes staff facilitators, me, and other board members, as well as our parliamentarian who's joining us today, Mary Scout. This group will determine if your question or comment is relevant to the issue at hand. If it is relevant, we will verbally share it with all of the attendees. So please be aware you may hear some other voices chime in and out during the meeting. For our attendees on Facebook, you can post your questions or comments only if you have a Facebook account. We do have 2 staff members monitoring that, and they will either address your questions and comments immediately, or they'll pass them along to our facilitators here on Zoom. And any other questions or comments that are not addressed will be shared with the governance team at GSEP for future communications. If you are watching on Facebook but do not have an account and would like to ask a question or make a comment, please mail governance@gsep.org. So again, you'd have to email governance@gsep.org and the staff will address your issue next week. Thank you again as we continue to navigate our virtual environments in hopefully an efficient and effective manner. So if we can advance the slide. And I'm going to ask the team, do we still need a voting test since we did one up front?
I think it certainly just helps get in the rhythm if it's okay.
Okay. So all people who've joined us via Zoom are voting members of the Delegate Council. All other interested members and friends and family are watching via Facebook Live. So only the people voting by our bylaws are attendees with access to the voting mechanism on Zoom. Thank you all for understanding why we had to set up the meeting the way we have done. So we'll hold a practice vote again for those of you that have joined and see how it actually works and looks. So as you can see from the slide, there are a question with 3 answers. Choose one, click it, and then hit submit. And if you don't do the last step of hitting submit, your vote will not go through and will not be counted. So I'm going to let the staff take the test. So I'm going to click.
Okay.
There we go.
I've relaunched the poll. And if just for myself, I want to make sure that I'm speaking loudly or clearly enough. I know we got some feedback earlier that I was not clear enough. So I'm hoping that I've corrected that. Okay. Thanks, Kim.
You sound good, Charlene.
Thank you. Okay. So we've got about 87% of our eligible folks who voted so far. So very quickly climbing 91% now. We've had the poll up for about 30 seconds. I'll keep it up just a second longer, and then I'll end the poll and then share the results as well. The question is, do you enjoy eating Girl Scout cookies? The choices are yes, no, or I abstain. And those are the same choices that we'll have for all of the polls. So we have about 94% who have voted. I'll end the poll and I'll share the results as well. So folks can see that 82% of you have said yes, you enjoy eating Girl Scout cookies. 12% have said no, they do not. And there's 5% who have chosen to abstain. So thank you for practicing.
Thank you, Charlene. So moving on, as their last official duty as girl advisors, I'm now.
I wanted to make sure that to all the panelists, Debbie, I'm sorry, Facebook is having technical difficulties, and they're asking if the meeting can be paused.
Okay, we will pause.
So the team is working. There's been a lot we're having a separate text exchange here. So Susan and Lydia are our staff members who are facilitating on Facebook. So you two will have to let us know when things are back up to snuff. I'm not quite, still no sound, even though it just was working. The meeting is paused. Yes. Thank you to all the delegate council members as we pause to make sure that our interested members and non-voting members are able to hear as well. So I'm going to
It's a good chance for a quick stretch and coffee refill for those of you that need to do so while we wait. And Carla, I'll wait for further instructions from you.
Okay, thank you.
Debbie, can I just do a mic check? Is my mic working? It is.
Yes,
Okay.
thank
You
you,
are.
Joanne. I'm excited. The staff, Lydia and Susan, are working diligently. They are trying a couple of other options to see if they can share it to Facebook via another mechanism. And to our folks who are handling Q&A, I just want to make sure that you guys can see that the Q&A log and some issues, questions coming up.
Can I answer some questions on air, please? A couple of people are asking about the "is it raining" question. That's not an actual question. You cannot vote on it because it is part of the slide. So thank you for your diligence, but we're good. You don't need to answer it.
I want everyone to know that we have practiced this numerous times. So of course, the day that it's live, we're having these issues, but we have run through this numerous times. Okay, so we're still working through this. Thank you again for your patience. We will wait to hear as they try the next section, the next option.
Can you pause the recording and test that if it works?
Okay.
Okay, so are we good to proceed? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to proceed to our opening ceremony. And as their last official duty as girl advisors, I will now ask Paris, Michaela, and Rachel to lead us in our opening ceremony. Girls.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law.
I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others, respect authority, use resources wisely, make the world a better place, and be a sister to every Girl Scout.
Thank you, girls. It's always good to be reminded of what makes our organization unique, and the Promise in Law offers us a strong foundation of interacting with other people, especially during these challenging times. Next slide. Okay, thank you. We have two parts of our mission moment today. The first mission moment is the presentation of our Governance Award. The Governance Award recognizes a volunteer who has provided outstanding and consistent dedicated service to the policy area of the Council. This year, I am extraordinarily pleased to share that we are presenting the award to two people who have generously shared their time, talent, and knowledge of governance throughout the past few years. The first recipient we are going to acknowledge is our own Susan Mucciaroni from the Board of Directors. Susan has been the chair of GSEP's Board Development Committee for the past 4 years. Previously, she also served as a member of the Finance and Take the Lead committees and as a non-board member of the BDC. Her commitment to Girl Scouting is illustrated by her long service elsewhere as well. Susan was a board member for Girl Scout councils in other communities for more than 20 years, in addition to being a proud alum. She is someone who obviously deeply believes good government forms a strong foundation for the work of the council, and GSEP is lucky to have her in the sisterhood. Thank you, Susan, for your commitment to our council and the movement as a whole. Congratulations. Although we can't present your award in person, we have sent you a token of our appreciation. And Susan, would you like to say a few words?
Wow, yes, Deb, thank you. And everybody, thank you. I am surprised, stunned, honored, and delighted all at once. It has been a distinct privilege and an honor to be of service in this council and to be a part of this wonderful movement. So thank you very much for this recognition and honor. I'll go open my box now.
Oh, good.
All right, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome, and thank you. Now I have the sincere pleasure of recognizing our second recipient. This year, for the first time, we are presenting a girl member with the Governance Award. Please join me in congratulating Michaela Hevers. Michaela is a girl advisor to the board. Along with her sister girl advisor, she has been an invaluable resource for the board as she shared her perspective as a girl member. Her commitment to governance excellence extends beyond her board service. She was a girl delegate for 3 years prior. She also was elected as a member of the Minutes Committee for the 2019 annual meeting. This year, she served as a trainer for delegate training in September and was instrumental in the creation of the virtual delegate training, which is soon to be shared. Plus, Michaela is a 2020 National Council Session delegate for GSEP. That role has culminated in the honor of being one of only 2 girls appointed to the National Advisory Team for the 2023 National Council Session. Michaela, your commitment to governance excellence both here in GSEP and on the national scale deserves to be celebrated. Congratulations, and would you like to say a few words?
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's really all I can think in my brain. I'm so grateful for this honor, and I'm so grateful to everybody I've worked with over my past 4 years of being a part of governance. This truly has made me who I am today and has prepared me for college and everything. And I'm so excited to be a part of this truly for the rest of my life in different ways. So thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. We look forward to the 2023 NCS and seeing your imprint on the movement for many, many years to come. Again, congratulations to both of you. Okay. Our next mission moment involves a local celebrity. We had the privilege of hearing this young woman at our board meeting back in March, and I'm excited that she is once again sharing her talents with us. Sydney Brown is a Gold Award Girl Scout who is currently an 11th grader at Abington Friends School. She also has the distinction of being Philadelphia's Youth Poet Laureate. Sydney was unable to be with us live today because she is getting a COVID vaccine shot, which is really important, and hopefully everyone has done that. But she did send us a recording of her remarks, including her reciting an original poem that we're going to play for all of you now. And I'm not getting sound, Carla.
Hold on, please. Let me start over.
Good morning. I'm Sydney Brown, the Youth Poet Laureate of Philadelphia. Thank you for having me here today. I've been writing poetry since I was in 5th grade, and I've been a Girl Scout since I was in 6th grade. For my Gold Award project, I brought middle school and high school girls together virtually to discuss topics such as self-esteem, positive body image, self-love, and the differences between healthy and toxic relationships. I wanted to start Project Good, Girls Overcome Obstacles Daily, because I saw a need for a space where girls could talk about things such as the issues they were dealing with. I was in a few toxic relationships myself, and those are people that were my best friends at the time. And if I had a space like this, it would have helped me a lot during the beginning of middle school and high school. So that's why I started Project Good. It's a space where young girls from different schools, such as Abington Friends School, Friends Select, Science Leadership Academy, and the String Theory School, could talk about their experiences openly or anonymously. After taking a workshop with Girl Scouts earlier in the pandemic about self-love, I knew I had to share that information with more girls. We meet weekly 6 to 7 p.m., and it's been such an incredible experience for me to hear the girls' feedback. Also, they found a space where they felt like they could say how they were feeling, and they weren't being judged, or they didn't have to deal with hearing from people that were in their own school kind of counteracting their ideas. They could just speak freely without being judged. It's great to see how the group has really been for each other during the pandemic, because it's not really every day that you get to meet friends from different schools virtually. So this project meant a lot to me because I didn't know a lot of girls went through the same things as me, and just having the space helped me to realize that I wasn't alone in a lot of the things I've experienced. One of my favorite parts about this program is that we get guest speakers. So far, we've had law school students, medical students, and teachers and fitness gurus. So that's been really exciting to see women in their field just doing incredible things and teaching us about different things, that different pieces of advice that they would have wanted their younger selves to know. Like we've learned to try to work out every day because it makes you feel better. If you're starting off your day, it just starts you off on the right foot. So we've been trying to work on that. And as I said before, I'm the Youth Poet Laureate of Philadelphia, meaning I'm the Youth Ambassador of Poetry for the City of Philadelphia. I became Youth Poet Laureate by applying during the summer and having an interview with the current and past Poet Laureates of the city. I'm typically doing a poetic event or preparing for one every week. I write every day, whether it's something that pops into my mind or commission piece that I'm writing for a judge, a council member, or maybe the art museum or a magazine maybe. One of my favorite parts is that I get to share my poetry with others and inspire them to take action. I really enjoy going to different schools and telling them about what I do and how they can get involved in their community, but also learn to write poetry, and I host workshops as well. It's really important to me to show others that no matter how young you are, you can do whatever you want, and your age shouldn't limit you from accomplishing your dream and inspiring others. So I would like to end out with a poem from my book, Daydreaming. It's entitled Round Trip. Life is like a round trip. The people with privilege are the captains of the ship. They don't want to say that we're sinking, even though that's what we're all thinking. I can't drown. I can't bring myself to die. Not when they think they had the power to make us cry. They stare racism in the eye like it's their friend. They'll do anything to bend the rules for them. I wish that words could cure humanity, maybe free us from the insanity, because these ships will keep on sinking, and those SOS lights will keep on blinking unless we help. Life is like a round trip, and I adore it. Life is like a warship, but we can restore it to its natural glory, because this story gets gorier and gorier every day, and people think that sinking battleships is a game that we should play, like starting wars is the answer. They spread hate like cancer. They put prefixes on our right to be American, African American, Asian American, Native American. If we kneel during the national anthem, they call us anti-American. Like we have to stand for a country who puts our men on the concrete, cold feet, neck deep in brutality, blood stained, in pain. They think they own the world because of white supremacy. They take us down so we don't fight back the enemy. They want our culture but mock our whole identity. If I fight for justice now, will it come in the next century? We always stay divided. It's like we all decided equality wasn't worth fighting for. This injustice disgusts me. It's impossible to ignore. Thank you. Hope everyone has a nice day. Bye.
Sydney is a remarkable young woman, and we're very proud to have her as a member of our GSEP sisterhood. Thank you for listening. Next, I'd like to introduce our parliamentarian, Mary Scout, whom you may remember from previous annual meetings. Mary is a professional registered parliamentarian who has been the parliamentarian for Dance Masters of America, the New Jersey PTA, and of course, our GSEP annual meetings. Mary will now share an overview of the parliamentary rules we will be using at today's meeting. Mary?
Thank you, Debbie. Last year, GSEP held its annual meeting virtually, the first organization that I work with that did that. And here we are again at this meeting in a virtual environment. We have different rules when meeting virtually. Please follow the instructions about how to ask questions or be recognized using the Q&A function. It's very important that you have an opportunity to voice your opinion, and we are doing everything we can to ensure everyone has that opportunity. We want everyone to leave the meeting fully understanding what business has been transacted and that they have had the opportunity to be heard. Now for the basics of parliamentary procedure and my role as parliamentarian. The application of parliamentary law is the best method yet devised to enable assemblies of any size, with due regard for every member's opinion, to arrive at the general will on the maximum number of questions of varying complexity in a minimum amount of time, and under all kinds of internal climate, ranging from total harmony to hardened or impassioned division of opinion. That is, these rules are based on a regard for the rights of the majority, of the minority, of individual members, of absentees, and of all these together. My role as parliamentarian for this meeting is to give advice to the chair and when requested to any other member. After the parliamentarian has expressed an opinion on a point, the chair has a duty to make the final ruling, and in doing so has the right to follow the advice of the parliamentarian or to disregard it. When you wish to speak, please follow the instructions in order to be recognized by the president. Motions that come from a committee do not need a second. If at any time you are uncertain as to what is being voted on, please ask the president to clarify the vote. It is important that you fully understand what is being decided. If you want to make a motion or amend a motion and don't know how to word it, or if it's in order, please ask and we will assist you. Thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you again this morning.
Thank you, Mary. Now Deb Walters, Secretary of the Board, will report on quorum.
Madam Chair, our bylaws require 40% or 69 of our delegate council members to be present in order to conduct business. I am happy to report that we have 93 voting delegates present and we have reached quorum. This is an exciting number to report during our second virtual annual meeting. We appreciate your presence with us here today. Your service as service unit delegates and girl delegates in partnership with the board and the board development committee are really the livelihood of the governance of this organization. We also have 31 additional Girl Scouts and visitors watching the event on Facebook Live or whatever method they ended up using. Thank you all for joining us. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Deb. We have a quorum and we can now conduct business. During our traditional in-person annual meetings, we would normally pause here to see if there are any objections to allowing a 2-minute time limit for debate on any issue. Instead, we will be checking the Q&A log, as we overviewed that earlier, to see if anyone has any questions or comments. So please, again, put them in the Q&A log, not the chat button. Our next order of business is to approve the agenda for today's meeting, which is shown on your screen. Could we advance the slide? Thank you. And I will also verbally summarize it. As we informed you in the official notice emailed to you on April 1st, this year's annual meeting involves our traditional subjects, including approval of our agenda, minutes committee, and tellers. We will then hear a short governance report given by me, our treasurer's report, and management report from our CEO. The board development committee will then ask for approval on the proposed slates for officers of the board members at large, girl advisors, BDC members, and girl delegates. Finally, we will recognize our top cookie sellers and scholarship recipients. There are 7 motions to vote on today. Approving the agenda will be the first official vote of the morning. Charlene, please start the first vote. Once you have made your choice, please remember to hit the submit button at the bottom.
I've started the poll that I approve the agenda for the 2021 annual meeting as shown on the screen.
Thank you, and we'll wait for the results.
Yeah, it's climbing very quickly. We're already at 80% of our folks voting, and that's about 100 people.
Okay, great. So thank you, Charlene. And are we going to show the vote or you'll just give it?
Yeah, once we end the poll, then I can share the results. We're at 87%. That's 109 folks who have voted. If we're comfortable, I think I can end the poll there. So 89% now, 112 folks. Okay, it slowed down quite a bit and we're at about the 1 minute mark of the poll being up. So
Okay.
I'll go.
If you could show the results.
Sure, I'll end the poll and share the results. So we have 100% of folks saying yes, they approve the agenda.
Okay. Based on the on-screen results, motion to approve is passed and the annual meeting agenda is now adopted. Thank you to all our delegates who voted. So we'll go on to the next item. Okay, we have a little bit more administrative business to attend to before we get into the reporting and voting. First is approval of the minutes committee. Next screen. As we do not meet again for a year, this committee will act on our behalf to review and approve the minutes in a timely manner. This year's minutes committee members are Sandy Faust, Tracy Ford, Paris Graves, and Phoebe Ann Wagner. We will now officially vote to approve the minutes committee members. And again, please hit submit.
Yes, I started that poll as well. I approve the members of the minutes committee for the 2021 annual meeting. We're already at 80%. We haven't even had it up for 30 seconds yet, and it's slowly climbing. So far, we're at 87%, which is 109 votes.
Okay.
Now it's been, we're nearing a minute, so I think 88%, I think we can probably end the poll there, and I can share the results.
Thank you.
So for the approval of the minutes committee, there's 98% who said yes, they approve.
Okay, there being a majority in the affirmative, the minutes committee has been approved. Thank you to the 4 of you for agreeing to serve in this capacity going forward. Next order of business is to appoint our tellers. Charlene Reedy is the staff person who is a data expert and is facilitating our voting polls on Zoom today. Charlene will serve as our head teller. To ensure transparency and ownership by volunteers of the voting process, Charlene will be sharing the official voting results with our other 2 tellers, Linda Mills and Maya Young. Thank you, ladies, for all agreeing to serve as tellers. Next slide. Thank you. Thank you for joining me at the 2021 annual meeting for the governance report. I'll be giving a brief update on the 2020 National Council session and NCS proposals, doing a quick recap of our delegate meetings held this year and recognizing a few special people as well. As you all know by now, the 2020 National Council session was held virtually for the first time, like everything else pretty much this past year. More than 1,000 Girl Scouts from across the country and around the world gathered together around their computer screens to conduct the triennial business meeting over the course of a very long weekend at the end of October. In addition to voting on a new national board chair, board members at large, and board development committee members, the NCS delegates approved all 6 proposals on the agenda with very small edits from their original language. These were establishing a task force to examine the feasibility of a National Gold Award Scholarship Foundation, a constitutional amendment on consistency of delegate terms, a lifetime membership discount for volunteers who have served 10 years or more, and 3 proposals about membership dues. Those were: membership dues are set by the National Board or the National Council, and if the National Board wants to change the dues, They are required to communicate and seek input from the National Council and local Girl Scout councils. Number 2, the next proposal outlines more specific requirements about that communication with NCS delegates and all Girl Scout councils, including sharing the intended use of the funds and potential impact on the movement prior to the change, as well as post-change reporting on the impact of that. The last approved proposal is that anytime the National Board plans to increase dues by more than 25%, they must seek approval from the National Council, which includes the NCS delegates. Next slide. For a brief recap of the delegate meetings this year, as you may have surmised, the major topic discussed at both our fall and spring delegate meetings was the National Council session proposals. NCS delegates shared the proposals at the fall meeting to seek input and perspectives on what GSEP's delegates thought about the 6 topics. And then again in the spring, the NCS delegates reported back about what happened in October. During our Strategy Cafe discussions, we also asked for initial thoughts about what the next round of proposals should be for the next National Council session, which is happening in July 2023. As a reminder, you can read an overview of the delegate meetings on the governance page of our website under the Documents tab. If you or your service unit have any questions or want to suggest a topic for this September's fall delegate meeting, please email governance@gsep.org with your thoughts. Before I turn the meeting over to Rick Perkins for the Treasurer Report, I have 2 special acknowledgements. I would like this group to know how much the board has appreciated, back one. Thank you. I want this group to know how much the board has appreciated Paris, Michaela, and Rachel, the girl advisors who served the 2020-2021 year. We celebrated them at the board meeting just prior to this meeting, but I want all of our attendees to know what wonderful, engaged young women we had working with us during this time. So a big thank you again to Paris, Michaela, and Rachel, and best luck in the future. Next, we are also saying a fond farewell to a very familiar face for many, and that is Rita Lee. Rita served on our GSEP board for the past 6 years, but was also a board member with one of our legacy councils, Freedom Valley, prior to that. And when she was a little younger, she was also a canoe instructor at Camp Moseywood. We are going to miss her steadfast dedication and commitment to the movement. She is a true green blood and sister. Rita, enjoy your golf games and your grandkids. We are deeply grateful for your sisterhood. Finally, I want to say how proud I am of the Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania, our board, staff, volunteers, adult members, girls and their families, and programmatic and philanthropic partners. During this pandemic, we have all come together to ensure our council stays strong into the future for our girls and our communities. Thank you for all you do to ensure Girl Scouting continues to make Eastern Pennsylvania and the world truly a better place. Our next order of business is the Treasurer's Report. It is my pleasure at this time to turn the mic over to Rick Perkins, our Treasurer. Rick?
Thank you, Debbie. I'm here today to report to you on the state of our finances. Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania has a fiscal year ending September 30, and I'm happy to report that from a financial standpoint, we had a good year for the year ending September 30, 2020. And I want to emphasize that it's because of all of you that we have been able to maintain our financial stability despite all the hardships caused by the pandemic. Now, our GSEP staff provides and prepares financial statements, and each year we engage an independent CPA firm to audit our financial statements and to review our internal controls. And for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2020, I'm pleased to report that our auditors issued a favorable opinion and found that our financial statements fairly represent the results of our operations. And We'll be discussing that in the treasurer's report. Let's look at our first chart. I know charts like this may be unusual to some of you, but I'm going to really try to explain it to you. The first chart shows revenue and expense. Okay, revenue is what is the money that comes in from cookie sales, contributions, camp fees, and other fees. Expense is what goes out: facilities costs, salaries, benefits, and each bar from 2016, if you look at the bottom, you'll see the year, through 2020 represents the total revenue for that year, broken down between earned revenue, which is the top, the blue bar, and that again includes cookie sales, camp and program service fees, rental fees, retail. And at the bottom, you'll see contributed revenue. That's the green part, okay? That includes individual donations and corporate and foundation grants, as well as United Way contributions. The yellow triangle at the top of each of these columns represent our operating expenses for the period. Remember now, when revenue is greater than expense, we say we had a surplus. When expense is greater than revenue, that is when what goes out is more than what comes in, we say we have a deficit. Surpluses are good because it means we've saved a little bit of money for a rainy day. In the past 5 years, we've had surpluses in each year, and these surpluses totaled $1.3 million, most of it coming in fiscal year 2020. And the total revenue for fiscal year 2020 reflects an overall decrease compared to prior years. And the decrease is principally because we did not have in-person camps last summer. And that, of course, is due to COVID-19. Can we turn to the next chart? Now, the prior chart showed revenue and expense. And when we subtract revenue from expense, we get the surplus. And here we're showing the surplus for each of those years from 2016 through 2020. Now, notice how in the early years, we had lower surpluses. And as I mentioned earlier in the prior chart, total revenue decreased in 2020 compared to prior years. However, GSEP was able to reduce operating expenses to more than offset the decrease in revenue. And as a result, we managed to deliver a very significant surplus of $843,000. Once again, that means that our revenue exceeded our expenses by $843,000. This is a lot of savings for a rainy day, but we had no way of knowing that we were going to have a rainy year like we've had in 2020. And I will show you later how this surplus will have to be used. Can we go to the next slide, please? This slide shows our 2020 operating revenue. That is what comes in. And it's broken down by cookie sales. Notice that's 83%. That's the large green area. It also includes contributions, okay, which is the blue area, 9%, merchandise sales, program service fees, and United Way. Okay. So our total operating revenue was less than the prior year by 9%. And this decrease was attributable principally to camp fees, which were lower because the camps were virtual. Okay. We were lucky that our successful cookie program for 2020 concluded prior to the shutdown for COVID-19. It exceeded our prior year's revenue by $835,000. On the other hand, contributed revenue decreased by $418,000, and that's attributed to COVID-19's impact on donor giving habits and to Take the Lead fundraising events that shifted to virtual. Can we go to the next slide, please? This slide shows the 2020 total expenses. That is where the money is spent. And you can see here that number one are girl programs, which is 41% of our total expenses. Member services are second at 28%. Total expenses, as we said, were lower. And this decrease, once again, was principally due to not having in-person camps and girl programming in the second half of the year. But I hope you'll also notice that over 82% of our total expenses went towards programs and services for our girls. That's the 41% for girl programs, the 28% for member services, the 13% for programs. Over the past 6 years, the percentage of our total expenses spent on direct girl programs has gone up from 72% in 2015 to 82% in 2020. So this is our way of ensuring that resources are moving our mission forward, which is the key objective of our transformation strategy. Can we turn to the next page? We sell a lot of cookies, over 17 million. Where does all that money go? Okay. The cookie program is the largest girl-led business in the country and helps girls develop 5 essential skills: goal setting, decision-making, money management, interpersonal skills, and business ethics. We're fortunate to complete our 2020 cookie program before the pandemic shutdown. Total gross revenues, as we can see in this chart, exceeded 17 million, and that's the first time we've hit that level. If you look at it, you'll see that 49% of that $17 million of cookie sales went to benefit all girls in our council. 26% went to pay for the cookies themselves that we had to pay to the baker. 20% went to troop benefits directly. 4% went to girl and adult recognition, and other costs of about 1%. So that's where that $17 million went to. And we're very happy that so much of it, 73% of that gross revenue, went directly to benefit troops, service units, and all the Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania. We can turn to the next page, next slide, I should say. This looks just like the first slide, except there's a new column, and that's our budget on the far right, our 2021 budget. We call this a pessimistic budget, okay? This is a budget is a plan for our upcoming year in which we forecast our revenues and expenses and what they will be. We prepared this 2021 budget during the summer of 2020, when the pandemic shutdown had already begun. The budget reflected entirely virtual operations with significantly reduced cookie sales and reduced expenses, which resulted in a budget deficit of $1.2 million. Notice that revenue is down, that's the blue bar, and expenses are also down, that's the yellow triangle. But expenses are down more than revenue. And let's turn to the next chart. Here we see the first 5 years we've been looking at, 2016 to 2020. Those are surpluses. It's above the break-even line. They total $1.3 million. That's the money we put aside for a rainy day or a rainy year. Notice that in 2021, we're going to have to use most of that $1.3 million that we accumulated in prior year surpluses to cover a $1.2 million deficit, and you notice here that on the chart, in 2021. So our conservatism and our ability to save that surplus from prior years allows us to move through 2021 without any critical problems. So our financial conservatism has come up, has really paid off. For the first half of this fiscal year, that's from October of 2020 to March of 2021, the pandemic state obviously continued. We have been operating in a virtual environment and are tracking very closely to that budget. Total revenue is 3% ahead of budget. All revenue lines are very close to the budget except for contributed revenue, which is actually $400,000 favorable to the budget. For the second 6 months of this fiscal year, we expect contributed revenue to continue to be strong. We expect to deliver in-person summer camps and girl programs, unlike what we had in the budget. And we will continue prudent expense management, which the staff has done an excellent job on. But we also feel that we will be committed to delivering the best possible Girl Scout experience. These are unprecedented times. We will continue to monitor and follow the guidance and direction of all our local and state national health departments to ensure the safety of our members, our volunteers, and our staff. Madam Chairman, that concludes my treasurer's report.
Thank you, Rick. And I believe at this point, we're having.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Deb.
Madam Chair, I have a point of order, please. This is Deb Walters. I would like to report an update to the quorum. We now have 109 voting delegates present, and so it is still a quorum, but we need an update in those numbers.
Thank you, Deb.
You're very welcome.
Debbie, it's now my pleasure to turn the meeting over to Kim Freitas-Dow, our CEO, for her management report.
Thank you, Rick. Take it away, Kim.
Thank you, Rick and Debbie. It's my honor to serve as the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania and to work alongside you and the board to serve our Girl Scouts. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge the challenges we have all faced during this past year. Many of us have dealt with extreme hardships, losses, and uncertainty. Thank you for choosing to come together today to celebrate and participate in our Girl Scouts community, one that is built on strength, love, and support. Like many of you, I've truly been amazed by our Girl Scouts this year who have made countless masks, written letters to isolated elderly and retirement communities, organized food and supply drives, and stayed connected to each other while physically apart. Our troop leaders, service unit leaders, delegates, committee members, and board have volunteered their time and have truly kept Girl Scouting going in Eastern Pennsylvania during this year. The ripple effect of your service is truly remarkable, and I am really not sure how to express how truly grateful I am and how much purpose you should feel in this historic act of volunteerism. I truly believe that Girl Scouting will be sustained because of you. And to those who have served as healthcare workers, first responders, and teachers, we are all indebted to you. Thank you for your service, sacrifice, and perseverance. This past year in Girl Scouting truly was a tale of 2 years. The first half, we saw record-breaking registrations for Girl Scouting, our programs, including camps, and our girls' success in the cookie program. At the end of membership year 2019, we concluded our previous 3-year strategic plan and embarked on developing a new one in concert with the national movement strategy. The national strategy focuses on 3 priority customers: Daisy and Brownie troop leaders, Latinx communities and Latinas, and older girls. It also has 6 strategic focus areas: relevant brand, reach and retain more girls, transform the volunteer experience, effective operations, reimagine revenue sources, and equity. GSEP's new transformation strategy is heavily rooted in our previous strategy, including GSEP's 3 core business goals. 1, movement, to ensure every girl in our 9-county footprint is aware of and has access to the full Girl Scout leadership experience. 2, membership, to achieve sustainable membership growth through troop formation, reaching 90% by December 31st. And 3rd, money, to continuously reinvest in the girls and volunteer experience by generating a surplus through increased revenue and optimized resource utilization. Our 7 guiding principles, leadership, community, service, inclusion, respect, integrity, and innovation remain, as does our culture of service, learning, and growth. To do this, we're getting our house in order with girls leadership at the top, volunteers just below them supporting our girls' experience. Our organization will focus on developing a culture that moves from maintenance to excellence. GSEP's 4 pillars of excellence are strategy and new markets, member and community excellence, operational excellence, what we do, girl program and volunteer services, and functional excellence, with good communications running throughout. This structure will help us to achieve our core goals. For movement, understanding the whole community of Girl Scouting in every service unit. For instance, girls by age level, girls who have earned service bars and torch awards, top cookie sellers, bronze, silver, and gold award Girl Scouts, operational volunteers, board members, alumni, building a community in each service unit and utilizing our community to expand Girl Scouting. For membership, utilizing the deep data we now have by area, for instance, our school report and our volunteer structure to ensure accessibility and flexibility by community. And for money, through effective operations and customer service, create greater ease in partnering with GSEP. Through intentional financial management, ensuring our spending matches with our priorities. GSEP rolled out the transformation strategy in May of 2020, and we redistributed our staff to meet these shifting priorities. In an effort to align our 2020 program accomplishments by pillars of excellence, the annual report and the following highlights will cover these topics: strategy and new markets, member and community excellence, operational excellence, and functional excellence. So starting with strategy and new markets. With a special focus on Daisy and Brownie recruitment, GSEP utilized data and information to hyper-focus on the close to 1,250 public schools in our 9-county footprint. How many girls are currently Girl Scouts in each school? What age levels are they? What is the available girl population in this school? Where are we towards reaching our growth goals in each school? Are we serving at least 10% of the available girl population? If we are serving more than 10%, have we sustained our membership there? Is it growing? Is it declining? What is the community profile where the school is? What are the demographics of the community? Does our membership represent that community? What are the community interests? What are the community resources? Do we have partnerships in this community? These are just some of the questions that we can ask ourselves, utilizing the data that we now have, providing us with a much better opportunity to service our membership and target market those families with girls we aren't yet serving. When the pandemic lockdown began, we focused on safety first and ensuring we could move our mission forward virtually next. Our focus was on bringing our community together despite being physically apart. So for member and community excellence, I began my report by sharing that 2020 was a tale of 2 years. The first half of the year, we saw membership increasing, a record-breaking cookie program, and record numbers of girls registering for camps and programs. Many thanks to those volunteers and families who helped to wrap the cookie program virtually with very little outstanding debt, and for those who patiently waited as we figured out how to refund more than 4,000 girls' camp registrations. Though the first half of the year was successful for membership growth, due to our inability to serve girls in school and during the summer at camp and partner locations, we did see a 12.79% decline in girl membership in 2020 and a 3.88% decrease in adult membership. Early bird for membership year 2021 was essentially flat compared to the non-pandemic prior year's early bird. This was a tremendous boost for GSEP. We also saw more than 800 volunteer troop leaders accept our invitation for financial aid and more girls requesting financial aid for membership. We see this as directly attributable to the financial hardships realized at the beginning of the pandemic. Unfortunately, due to our inability to access schools this year for our normal recruitment efforts and for in-school programs, as well as some of our members' hesitancy to rejoin due to the limitations, our membership for 2021 has seen an enormous drop. Currently, we're working on extended year membership drives, the Michelle Obama event this week, early bird registrations, camp, and fingers crossed in-person summer programming at partner sites. We hope these efforts will bring our current year membership numbers up over the next several months. Take the Lead Greater Philadelphia beat the COVID clock by 9 days. However, the Berks and Lehigh Valley Take the Lead events were canceled. Over the course of several months, the honorees and girls for Berks and Lehigh Valley were featured on numerous Zoom presentations, ads, social media, videos, and in our Spark magazine. And while we certainly missed the opportunity to get together and celebrate, our Take the Leads generated fundraising revenue that we really needed to support our programs. Our community came together in early June to discuss George Floyd's death and reflect on the important topic of racial justice. GSEP's DEI committee added racial justice to its important work, and several events, resources, and ongoing conversation came out of this tragedy. One highlight was the Use Your Voice Racial Justice Town Hall our girl advisors and board members helped to design. This event was requested by our older Girl Scouts and featured several high school age girls, some Girl Scouts and some not, and was moderated by our board member and iHeartMedia host, Lorraine Ballard-Marl. We look forward to continuing the Use Your Voice Town Hall series later this month with mental health and wellness as the girl requested topic. For operational excellence, the third annual Women's Leadership Conference was held in January of 2020 and was a great success, featuring two keynote speakers, Ann King Lagos of Realm Fine Fashion Jewelry and Dr. Robin Smith, along with many of our Take the Lead honorees. The conference also included an older girl track for the first time, and our girls provided wonderful feedback. We hope to hold another Women's Leadership Conference again next membership year. The Silver and Gold Award ceremonies were held at Normandy Farms in Bluebell. In 2019, 803 girls earned their Bronze Award, 221 girls earned their Silver Award, and 63 girls earned their Gold Award. The Silver and Gold Award committee members worked tirelessly to help girls stay on track to complete their projects. And I want to say a big thank you to these dedicated volunteers for their enormous efforts every year, and this year in particular. As expressed earlier, despite record-breaking registrations in girl programming, COVID halted all in-person programs on March 13th. GSEP staff launched Girl Scouts at Home within 2 weeks of the shutdown, and I saw our GSEP team, our volunteers, and our girls pivot a 108-year-old Girl Scout ship virtually with courage, confidence, and character. And I have never been more proud of our community. More than 10,000 girls were served in 6 weeks of programming, including badge workshops, town halls, sing-alongs, Facebook Live meetups, and campfire chats. Close to 300 volunteers also participated in virtual meetups, trainings, and sharing of resources, including social and emotional tools to guide difficult conversations about the pandemic, racial unrest, and social isolation. Summer Camp of 2020 was Camp at Home, and it was launched with more than 1,500 girls participating in synchronous and asynchronous programs for 5 weeks. Programs were offered at every age level and included leadership programs like Program Aid and Counselor in Training. This incredible virtual camp featured program boxes for every girl with DIY supplies, a program book, and fun items just for her. There was also a private social media platform provided called the Band app, which allowed younger girls to share pictures and comment on each other's projects in a safe space. Weekly campfires brought all the camps together virtually, and this program received incredible reviews by our campers, parents, and the media. Camp at Home will continue this summer, in addition to in-person camp, as it provides girls who are unable to travel to have an awesome summer camp experience from their home. As mentioned, we are planning for in-person programming at our 3-day and 4 resident camps this summer. COVID safety protocols have been carefully planned out, and we intend to serve 70 to 80% of the total number of campers served in summer of 2019. We are still in need of summer camp staff. So if you know anyone interested in a fantastic summer of individual growth while providing an awesome experience for girls, making friends for a lifetime, and being outdoors, please reach out to us as soon as possible. For functional excellence, you heard our treasurer, Rick Perkins, share the financial report earlier, and we are in a good place financially. Some of the reasons include great luck. For instance, the cookie program wrapping 4 days before the shutdown, or Take the Lead programs meeting expectations despite 2 being canceled, and our success in securing a Small Business Association PPP loan. Other reasons include great financial management on behalf of our GSEP team, our board finance committee, and our talented senior management team. We closed on the sale of the Lehigh Valley Service Center 2 weeks into the pandemic, and this provided a real savings for us on utilities, and the agreement met our sales price expectations. 2021 has been a challenging and fun financial problem to solve. We have done a tremendous job communicating and planning for multiple scenarios, and look forward to successfully running in-person camp this summer and closing the year in good financial position. Our work on building a new Girl Activity Center or Girl Adventure Place at Camp Mountain House continues, and some new developments have occurred just in the past week. GSEP successfully purchased the neighboring property previously owned by Roger Persing. This property includes a house and 40 acres. GSEP will be selling 38 acres to the Wildlands Conservancy this summer, which they have already secured a Pennsylvania DCNR grant to conserve. This land will connect with their 350-acre South Mountain Preserve and will extend Girl Scouts outdoor experience at Camp Mountain House. This project has been many years in the making, and we are thrilled to have it completed. Additionally, news regarding conservation at Camp Laughing Waters includes our 4+ years of ongoing work with Natural Lands to secure state, county, and municipal funding for the conservation easement. The project has recently made the news, and we continue to work with all parties to secure funding. This project will benefit the region in many ways, including preserving natural habitats, assisting with enormous flooding concerns for the region, and will provide important funds for GSEP's Land, Building, and Equipment Fund, which helps to steward our beloved properties. Camp Shelley Ridge improvements are also underway. Plans include a commercial kitchen for Smith Lodge, as well as restoration of the Trom Wall, which is a passive solar system to heat and cool the space, as well as better air circulation for the lodge. 8 platform tents are being built for increased overnight camping options, and improved accessibility projects are being developed for both the front of the camp as well as the back of the camp. This part of the project will increase our access to the back half of our camp currently being underutilized. We are excited to continue to invest in our properties to improve and increase the girl experience. This concludes my management report. Let's pause and check the chat log for any relevant questions or comments. Any questions?
Kim, I have one. What is the name of the new building that we acquired? I don't know if you can answer that.
The new building that we acquired is Mr. Persing's home. We haven't named it yet.
And then people wondering about the number of camp registrations and also how we would distribute the annual reports. If you'd like to answer any of those on air.
Sure. So camp registrations are close to 80% of what we're hoping to have for this summer. So going really well, but we still have available spots at almost every camp. Camp Valley Forge is pretty full. It's almost at capacity, but we have spots at all of our camps. I know the team is currently figuring out where the openings are, and we'll be sending out some information to our membership regarding that soon. And then as far as how the annual report will be distributed, after this meeting, we're going to be sending out an email to our entire membership with a link to the digital annual report, which has been completed and will be available directly following this meeting. Any other questions, Tracy?
I have some comments. I don't know if you want to speak to the 5-cent incentive for early reg that we did last year and why we didn't choose to do it this year.
I don't have specific answers to that other than we work with a committee of volunteers who helps us determine incentives for early bird registration, and guessing that that was not one that was chosen for this year.
Okay, thank you.
That's it?
We have questions about, actually one just came in. Will virtual camp be offered permanently? I would say, if you want to answer that.
I think we are so proud of the Girl Scouts at Home and Camp at Home options that we're providing. We know that virtual programming is here to stay, and we look forward to seeing how running both Camp at Home and in-person camp goes this summer, and hoping that all goes well. It could be something that we do in perpetuity, but I think we should just see how the summer goes first.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so before I hand over the agenda, I want to express my heartfelt thanks to all of you again this morning. It is because of you, our delegates, our board and board development committee members, and those members and volunteers watching on Facebook, that our girls will be able to enjoy Girl Scouting in Eastern Pennsylvania for years to come. Thank you. I also want to say a sincere thank you to Susan Mucciaroni, one of our Governance Award recipients and outgoing chair of the Board Development Committee. Your leadership has been incredibly important over the past 4 years, and I have certainly learned a lot from you. And GSEP is indebted to you for your dedicated and meticulous service. Thank you. And now we will hear from Susan for the Board Development Committee report.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Kim, and especially thank you for the honor of the award. Governance is a passion of mine, and I am honored to work with the board and all constituents of the Girl Scouts with respect to governance. And so today, I'm pleased to join you for the annual meeting and to provide the Board Development, or BDC, committee report. So let me start by saying a little bit about the Board Development Committee. The 4 board members on the BDC are myself as chair, Ann Baum, Debbie O'Brien, and Deb Walters, secretary and chair of the Bylaws, Policy, and Policy Review Committee. And there are 5 non-board members on the BDC: Laura Azalina, Mary Beth Biddle, Michelle Box, Allison Green Johnson, and Miriam Shu. The BDC has 5 slates to present today. We have indeed been very busy. Officers of the board, board members at large, girl advisors to the board, board development committee members, and girl delegates. The BDC has been working since last summer to recruit and vet candidates for these positions. This year, we're fortunate to have minimal turnover on the board. Most nominees are being re-elected to new terms, with only 1 new board member at large joining the board. The same situation exists for the Board Development Committee. A current member is being elected to serve as chair, a new non-board member is joining, and the other nominees are being re-elected to new terms. Plus, we will be electing 3 new girl advisors and 30 girl delegates. The 5 respective slates and the biographies of the officers, board members at large, the Board Development Committee, and girl advisors were included in the official notice mailed to the Delegate Council 30 days ago. So I will now review the respective slates and present them to our board chair for the vote. Now, before doing so, I'll remind you that our bylaws state in Article 5, Section 7C, nominations from the floor must have been submitted to the Board Development Committee chair at the council office at least 7 days before the annual meeting. We didn't receive any requests for nominations from the floor. Therefore, these are uncontested elections. Our first vote is for officers of the board, and I will state each nominee's name and term. Deb Hassan, this will be her 3rd term as board chair. Next is myself for my 1st term as 1st vice chair. Ann Donnelly is being re-elected to her 2nd term as vice chair. Lorraine Ballard Morrill being elected to her 2nd term as vice chair. Rick Perkins, whom you heard from earlier, is being re-elected to his 2nd term as treasurer. Deb Walters, who presented the quorum report, is being re-elected to her 3rd term. Madam Chair, I present the slate of the officers of the board.
Thank you, Susan. It's now time to vote on the slate of officers of the board. After you make your selection, please remember again to click submit. And Charlene, I'm going to turn it over to you now to start the voting.
Sure. I'm launching the poll for the first vote. I approve the slate of the officers of the board of directors. Choices again are yes, no, or I abstain. Votes are coming in very quickly. We're already up to about 83%.
Wow.
Yeah, it really is. I think that first 30 seconds and then between 30 seconds and a minute until everyone who's going to vote votes. All right, we're up to, well, we're just about in the 90s. Okay. Let's see, it's about 45 seconds. I think we've reached where we're going to reach. So I'll end the poll and I will share the results.
Okay.
So I approve the slate of the officers of the board of directors. It looks like 100% have voted in favor.
Okay. Thank you, Charlene. Per the vote, the slate of the officers of the board has been elected. Congratulations to our newly elected officers.
Thanks, everyone. So the next slate, as presented by the Board Development Committee, is for the 13 board members at large being elected or re-elected. As a reminder, the bios were sent in the official notice and can be accessed on the governance page of the GSEP's website. Again, I will state each nominee's name and term, starting with Ann Baum being re-elected for her 2nd term, Marlene Beers for her 3rd term, Harris Bach for his 3rd term, Terry Boyer being re-elected to her 2nd term, Fasoon Bubernak for her second term. Joanne Gonzalez Generals is being reelected to her third term. Allison Green Johnson is being elected to her first term. Stephanie Costa for her second term. Maria Kraus being elected to her first term as member at large. Sophia Lee being reelected to her second term. Nicole Levine for her third term. Catherine Nordick for her second term. Emily Turner is being reelected to her second term. Madam Chair, I present the slate of the board members at large. Madam Chair, excuse me, you're on mute.
Oopsie. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. It's time to vote on the slate for the board members at large. After you make your selection, as before, please remember to click submit. Charlene, start the voting. Thank you.
Yes, I started the poll, approved the slate of the board members at large. We're already up to about 80% of the votes in, so that's doing pretty well. You're all very fast voters. Okay, we're about 40 seconds. So a little bit more, I think we're all very close to the total number of votes. All right, I will go ahead, I'll end the poll and I'm sharing the results. We have 100% of votes for approving the slate of the board members at large.
Thank you, Charlene. Per the vote, the slate of the board members at large has been elected. Congratulations and a special welcome to Allison, our newest board member.
Likewise, thank you. This next slate, as presented by the Board Development Committee, is for girl advisors to the Board of Directors. So we have Lizzie Chian, we have Christian Roach, and Devin Steck. These are the nominees for girl advisors. Madam Chair, I will now ask for a vote on this slate.
Thank you, Susan. We will now vote on the slate of girl advisors to the board. Please start the voting. Thank you, Charlene.
All right, the vote is up for approving the slate of the girl advisors to the board. We're already at 86%. Keep it up just a little bit longer. All right, I will end the poll and share the results. And we're at 100% of votes in favor of approving the slate of the girl advisors to the board.
Great, thank you, Charlene. There being a majority in favor, the slate of the girl advisors has been elected. Congratulations, and we'll look forward to working with the new girl advisors.
Likewise, thank you, Deb. Now for the slate for the Board Development Committee. Debbie O'Brien is being elected to her first term as BDC Chair. Ann Baum is being elected for her second term. Mary Beth Biddle for her second term. Michelle Box for her second term. Allison Green Johnson being elected for her first term as a board member of the BDC. Kathy Killian being elected as a new member of the Board Development Committee. Deb Walters for her third term. Madam Chair, may I present the slate for the Board Development Committee?
You may, and thank you, Charlene. Thank you. We're getting really good at this. And don't forget to hit submit.
It's going quickly. We're already up to 78% voting. Doing very well. All right, I will end the poll there and I'll share the results. For the slate of the Board Development Committee members, we have 100% in favor.
Thank you. And there being a majority in favor, the slate of the Development Committee members has been elected. Congrats to everyone and especially to Debbie, our new BDC chair, and our newest member, Kathy. Thank you for joining. Susan?
Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Girl Delegate slate. The Girl Governance Committee, a subcommittee of the Board Development Committee, was composed of a current board member, 2 past board members, and a current Board Development Committee member. Determining the Girl Delegate slate is quite an involved process, and I want to show you some of the statistics about that process and the applicants. So collectively, the group spent about 60 hours reviewing the 98 applications and then gathering together over Zoom to discuss their ratings and determine the final slate. As you can see on this slide, the girls who applied are diverse in terms of geography, race and ethnicity, and grade level. The Girl Governance Subcommittee also created a weighting scoring rubric, which gave the most importance to the question of why girls wanted to be a girl advisor or a girl delegate. This was important because governance is not the same as operations, and the subcommittee wanted to make sure that the girls understood the roles that they were applying for. So Rick thought his chart was complicated. This particular slide illustrates the final makeup of the slate of girl delegates. The bar graphs in each pairing shows the respective aspects of all the applicants, while the right graph in each pairing shows the same aspect of the girls chosen to be on the slate. The Girl Governance Subcommittee tried very hard to reflect the composition of the applicant cohort in the final slate. So all of our 9 counties are represented. About a quarter of the nominees are girls of color, and all 4 grade levels in high school are represented, with the majority of girl delegate nominees being 11th and 12th graders. So the next step in the process was presenting their recommended slate to the Board Development Committee for our approval. I'm pleased to share with you now the slate for girl delegates who will serve a 1-year term. I'll read all 30 names before we conduct our final vote of the day. For the position of girl delegate for the 2021-22 term, starting at the conclusion of this annual meeting, we'll start with Lizzie Allen, Olivia Bell, Sydney Brown, Marissa Burns, and Nika Chaudhry. Next, Jessica Daly, Tatiana Davis, Caitlin Fernandez, Jenna Frey, and Emily Gombert. Next, Katie Harrington, Elliot House Kelly, Michaela Jebets, Sindhuja Kanamalapuji. No, one more time. Sindhuja Kanamalapuji. Thank you. Lillian Kuntz. Next, Gabriela Lagomarcina, Annie Lordy, Kylie McEntee, Molly Neidig, and Miriam Pennock. Next, Catherine Sarte, Suzanne Schleg, Maddie Slavin, Emma Smirk, Melanie Thurin. And finally, Stella Tucker, Tatiana Ullman, Caitlin Wall, Reagan Ward, and Ashley Westgate. As my last official act as chair of the Board Development Committee, I present the slate of girl delegates to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Susan, for presenting the slate and for your service as BDC chair. Let's commence our very last vote of the day. Charlene?
I just launched the poll for approving the slate of the girl delegates. We're already at about 80%.
I think everyone's getting very good at this.
Yeah. I can end the poll and I'll share the results. For the slate of the girl delegates, 100% voted in favor.
Great. Thank you. There being a majority in the affirmative, the slate of the girl delegates has been elected. Congratulations to all 30 of our delegates. And as an aside, your pins will be mailed to you, so please keep a lookout for your delegate pin to be arriving in the next couple of weeks. Normally, we would have invited all of you girls on stage to receive your girl delegate pins from myself as board chair and our CEO, Kim. Because of the current environment, we're mailing them to you, and we will publicly acknowledge you at the fall delegate meeting in September. Thank you, girls, for your understanding, and look forward to actually being able to shake hands and be in person this coming fall. Now, I'm going to suggest a quick, don't go away far, but wellness stretch, get the kinks out. We've been here a while. And then we're going to move on with the agenda. So again, thank you, Charlene, and all of our tellers for confirming votes. Thank you, Susan, and the entire board development committee, which has worked hard all year on developing the 5 slates for such exceptional women, men, and girls. And I appreciate everyone sticking in, including our little bit of delay at the front end of the meeting for our virtual meeting. I'd also, while we have her with us, like to give a big shout out to our parliamentarian, Mary Scout. If we could give her a little virtual round of applause. She's helped guide us through this virtual voting last year and this year, and I'm incredibly proud of our organization for continuing to soldier on, adapt, and try to keep work as normal as possible. Last year, Mary told us that some nonprofits decided to actually delay their annual meetings due to the pandemic, as have some other Girl Scout councils. Here at GSEP, we know we are strong, capable, and resourceful with a fabulous team backing us up. So thank you to all involved with the voting process. And we still have a little bit of celebrating to do. So if you haven't already, again, take a minute, stand, stretch before we get into our celebratory mode here. And to do that celebration, I'm going to turn the mic over to my sister board member, Joanne Gonzalez Generals. Joanne is the co-chair of the Membership Strategy Committee of the board. She will be sharing the names and successes of all of our top cookie sellers. Joanne?
Thank you, Debbie. I'm very excited to be with all of you during this virtual gathering. As you all know, the Girl Scout Cookie Program is about more than just cookies. Participation in the cookie program provides girls the opportunity to develop 5 key skills: goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics. This year's cookie program was truly unique since it was conducted entirely virtually. The girls have shown amazing ingenuity, creativity, persistence, and ambition in pursuing their goals. In fact, a new record for GSEP was set this year by an individual Girl Scout, which shows us that even in the most challenging of circumstances, girls have remarkable resilience and determination. We are incredibly proud of all of you. On behalf of the Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania, I would also like to say a sincere thank you to the service units, troop leaders, and parents who supported the girls during this unprecedented challenge and helped to make this year's cookie program a success. Now it's time to announce by age level the 2021 top 3 sellers. Normally at an in-person meeting, each girl would come up on stage to receive a certificate from our CEO, Kim. Girls, please know that your top cookie seller certificates will be mailed to you. Okay, daisies. 3rd highest selling daisy, Rabia Jennings of Troop 71159 in Mill Creek Service Unit, 2007 boxes. 2nd highest selling daisy, Macy Brown, Troop 9161 in 3 Leaves Service Unit, 2,128 boxes, sorry. Highest selling daisy, Monet McLean, Troop 9609 in Buttons and Bows Service Unit, 4,035 boxes. Fantastic work, girls. Brownies, third highest selling brownie. Scootaloo Laudenslager of Troop 6169 in Allentown Service Unit, 2,780 boxes. Second highest selling brownie, Emily Kugel of Troop 2034 in Oxford Valley Service Unit, 3,595 boxes. And the highest selling brownie, Gia Panza, Troop 9589 in the South Philadelphia Service Unit, with a record-setting 9,032 boxes. Wow, what great selling skills, girls. Congratulations. Now we have the juniors. Third highest selling junior, Natalie Jacoby of Troop 77801 in Mill Creek Service Unit, 3,001 boxes. Second highest selling junior, Diana Stubbs of Troop 9454 in Three Leaf Service Unit, 3,659 boxes. And the highest selling junior, Kennedy Fiorelli of Troop 21793 in Tuhakini Service Unit, a whopping 4,328 boxes. Girls, you did an amazing job this year. And now on to the cadets. Third highest selling cadet, Carolina Garozzo of Troop 42123 in Pickering Valley Service Unit, 2,034 boxes. Second highest selling cadet, Maya Kearns of Troop 21041 in the Neshaminy Service Unit, 2,287 boxes. And the highest selling cadet, Jordan Hartley of Troop 5407 in Ridley Springfield Connection Service Unit, 2,500 boxes. Remarkable effort, girls. And on to our seniors. We have a tie for second place, so we will be recognizing the two girls in alphabetical order by last name. One of our second highest selling seniors, Natalie DeCrosta of Troop 21603 in Oxford Valley Service Unit with 2,000 boxes. Our other second highest selling senior, Susan McKeever of Troop 2717 in Oakville Service Unit, 2,000 boxes. And the highest selling senior, Kylie Black of Troop 2974, also in Oakville Service Unit, 3,052 boxes. Thank you, ladies, for all your wonderful efforts. And on to ambassadors. Third highest selling ambassador, Mason Hall of Troop 5103 in Ridley Springfield Connection Service Unit with 2,004 boxes. Second highest selling ambassador, Phoebe Ann Wagner of Troop 874 in Slate Belt Service Unit, 2,012 boxes. And the highest selling ambassador, Samantha Rubovitsky of Troop 97234 in South Philadelphia Service Unit, 4,642 boxes. Very impressive this year, ladies. We also want to shine a spotlight on the top 5 cookie sellers in the entire council. These 5 girls alone sold 25,695 boxes. Their phenomenal efforts need to be applauded. In ascending order, we are celebrating Junior Diana Stubbs with 3,659 boxes. Monet McLean with 4,034 boxes. Junior Kennedy Fiorelli, 4,328 boxes. And Ambassador Samantha Rubovitsky, 4,642 boxes. And our top selling Girl Scout, also known as our 2021 Cookie CEO, Brownie Gia Panza, with 9,032 boxes, a record Congratulations, Gia. And now I'm turning the meeting back over to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Joanne, and thank you to all 18 of our top cookie sellers, especially Gia, our cookie CEO. And lest we forget, we also need to acknowledge all the troop leaders and parents who lived for a couple of months with stacks and stacks of boxes and cartons of cookies, and who motivate and support our girls in their quest to be successful entrepreneurs. A huge thank you to all of the adults involved in the cookie sale as well. So virtual clap of hands for all of them for all their support. We now have our final group of girls to recognize our award and scholarship recipients. For this portion of the meeting, I will turn the mic over to board members Ann Donnelly and Deb Walters. Ladies.
Thank you, Debbie, and hello, everyone. We would like to start off with the Union League of Philadelphia Good Citizenship Award. This recognition offers awards for Girl Scouts in their junior year of high school who have shown marked evidence of good citizenship. Girls who are selected to receive the award attend an event called Good Citizens Day, hosted by the Union League of Philadelphia. On that day, they will network and attend educational sessions where they learn about the U.S. Constitution before participating in debates. In the afternoon, they take a tour of Philadelphia City Hall. And in the evening, they attend the banquet where they celebrate being chosen to receive the Good Citizenship Award. The 18 girls who were nominated for the Good Citizenship Award by Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania will be recognized today. They are Sydney Brown, Olivia Davis-Egan, Nicole DeWald, Marielle Di Natale, Leah Di Pietro, Felicia Duffy, Lydia Ermer, Emily Foxhill, Elena Frost, Mia Hoppel, Isabella Houston, Brianna Lee, Mary Plunkett, Christian Roach, Nicole Rosansky, Elizabeth Schaubert, Melanie Thurin, Gabriella Weinstein. These 18 girls will be eligible to apply for a Union League of Philadelphia college scholarship during their senior year of high school. Good luck, girls, and thank you for representing GSEP with such grace and grit. The next portion of the ceremony will recognize the girls who are receiving scholarships. The scholarship committee reviewed applications from 70 girls who applied for 12 scholarships. Each award or scholarship has different criteria, requirements, and application processes. Girls, please know that you will each be receiving a certificate in the mail acknowledging your scholarship. I will let Dawn Harper announce the first scholarship recipient. Dawn? Dawn, you're muted.
Sorry. Thank you, Ann. The Renee Carroll Harper Memorial Scholarship honors one graduating senior who is an active member of a troop in Philadelphia, is active in her school and community, and plans to continue her education. I am proud to share that this year's recipient is Rachel Thornton.
Thank you, Dawn, and congratulations, Rachel. The Dottie Martin Educational Scholarship / Destination Fund recognizes a girl who has been active in Girl Scouts and exemplifies courage, confidence, and character, just as Dottie Martin did. This year's recipient is Valentina Souza. The Elizabeth G. Dorsett Memorial Scholarship provides funds for continuing education to a Gold Award Girl Scout ambassador who has demonstrated high academic achievement. Michaela Havers will receive this year's scholarship. The Friends of Camp Sunset Hill Scholarship provides funds for continuing education to one Girl Scout ambassador from Delaware County. The awardee must have earned her Gold Award with a project that either educates the public about the outdoor environment or physically improves the outdoor environment. This year's recipient is Catherine Wright. Now for the Janet and Solomon Eschner College Scholarship, which provides funds for continuing education to one Girl Scout ambassador with leadership potential. The recipient of this scholarship is Serena Williams. This year's recipient of this year's Judy Boree Award is Sarah Mash. Congratulations, everyone. I will now turn the virtual mic over to my sister board member, Deb Walters, to continue the scholarship presentations.
Thank you, Anne. The Kiwanis Award is given to a girl who has demonstrated an understanding and commitment to the overall philosophy of Girl Scouting and has proven that she truly lives the Girl Scout law and provides funds for continuing education. Michaela Havers will be receiving the award this year. The Margaret Glenn Esty Award recognizes 4 Girl Scouts ages 14 to 18 who undertake projects that enhance the motivation, aspiration, and self-esteem of girls under 18. We are proud to announce these 4 young women who have helped their sister Girl Scouts. Sydney Brown, Samantha Fitch, Michaela Havers, Elizabeth John. The Maurice Seltzer Science and Math Award recognizes one Girl Scout senior or ambassador working in the field of science and math while performing community service. This year's recipient is Erin Horak. This scholarship is given to a graduating ambassador who is a model student and gives of herself to family, friends, and those in need. The recipient of the Monet Ragsdale Maybury Scholarship is Rachel Thornton. The Muriel E. Lehman Award honors one Girl Scout senior or ambassador who has done the most to promote friendship among persons of different ethnic backgrounds. This year's recipient is Erin Horak. We would now like to announce the girls who will receive the Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania Graduating Senior Scholarship. This scholarship is fully funded through the Alumni Committee's Adult Camping Weekend held every August, which Ann and I co-chair. The number of graduating senior scholarships that are awarded each year is determined by the amount of money raised at the previous year's event. Of course, August 2020 presented its own unique challenges to our fundraising, but we worked very hard to create a virtual event so that we could still support some of our newest alums as they go off to college this fall. I am proud to announce that we raised enough funds through our hopefully once-in-a-lifetime virtual event to recognize 15 young women with the Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania Graduating Senior Award. These girls demonstrate leadership involvement within the community. The money is to be used towards continuing education. Each girl will receive an award of $1,000. Abigail Allen, Sanchita Busari, Megan Hughes, Elizabeth John, Erin Horak, Sarah Mash, I'm sorry, I missed one. Ayana Kakar, Sarah Mash, Madison McCain, Emerson Piacine, Trinity Pryor. Morgan Sowers, Valentina Sousa, Rachel Thornton, Paige Weitzel, and Serena Williams. Congratulations, ladies. Madam Chair, the meeting is now yours.
Thank you, Dawn, Deb, and Ann, and a big virtual applause for all recipients and for our committee. A big debt of gratitude is also due to scholarship committee members who reviewed the 70 applications that resulted in the recipients that you see. Thank you for your dedication to ensuring our girls have the opportunity to succeed in the future. Thank you also to all of you who have stayed on the webinar to the very end, despite our little bit of a delay at the front end. Just a couple of reminders to make before we end our time together. We all know how impactful the Girl Scout leadership experience is for girls. We want to make sure that we continue to help build girls of courage, confidence, and character that make the world a better place. A month ago, as you heard earlier from Kim, Spring Renewal campaign kicked off. Through June 30, we are asking all our members to consider renewing their Girl Scout membership for membership year 2022, if you have not already done so. There are incentives to renew early. For example, if girls renew in May, they will receive a custom-made GSEP bandana and a spring renewal patch. There are also incentives for troop leaders and service units who have a 70% renewal rate. Troops will receive gift certificates to GSEP shops, and service units who renew 70% of their girls in the SU renew between April 1st and June 30 will receive a 6-foot GSEP tablecloth. We hope that you will renew today if possible, or at least by the deadlines. And last but not least, closing remarks include the fact that we're hiring. So I'm putting a plug in for the summer camp team. There are still open positions at all camps, as you heard from Kim. To check out the possibilities, please go to gsep.org and click on the careers link at the top of the page. As an alum of Camp Laughing Waters myself, having spent a number of years there with wonderful counselors, it's a great way to spend a summer if you know people to recommend to apply. So your help is appreciated. With that, this officially concludes our 2021 annual meeting. A huge thank you again for joining us during these challenging times. I hope that you and your families continue to stay healthy and safe, and may we see each other in person real soon. Please stick around and listen to our girls sing you off with one of our iconic Girl Scout songs. Girls?
Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. A circle is round, it has no end. That's how I want to be your friend. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. A circle is round, it has no end. That's how I want to be your friend.
And meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you all.